Kitty. Oh, goodness. Got something on me. Hey. Hi. There's somebody there. Hi, Angie's Live. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Carrie. I'm trying to get situated. Hi, I'm Susan. Welcome to Furry Feline Monsters of Mass Destruction. I'm awfully melancholy. So I decided to go live and talk about baby Dumplin, even if nobody showed up. But here you guys are. Also want to bring you up to date on Rags. She's still not doing well. I'm having a hard time seeing your chat because my eyes keep tearing up. So please excuse me today if I don't interact with chat very well. I just need to talk. Hi, Ann. It's good to see you too. You guys know Baby Dumpling, our only long hair rescue here at Furry Feline Monsters of Mass Destruction. He was also our oldest boy, although he was only 6. Up until I'd say Thursday evening. Sorry, I've had a lot on my plate because Rags is not well. They're not related. The two cases aren't related. I beg your pardon. Okay. Baby Dumplin was his normal self. But Thursday evening, I'm pretty sure it was, he started up chucking, which was not particularly unusual for Baby Dumplin because he's a long hair. He would get hairballs frequently when grooming. or after grooming, I should say. And uh, so he would upchuck hairballs, but he was actually upchucking undigested food. So I thought, okay, keep an eye on him, simultaneously keeping an eye on Rags. Give him some boiled chicken and rice, and make sure he stays hydrated. And if he's not better by Monday, this was on Friday, if he's not better by Monday, I'll call the vet. Because baby Dumplin is my 55-mile-an-hour kitty. He's never been sick. Well, Saturday, he started mewling in low tones. And I started petting him, and I said to DeBoss, he feels bony. He's never felt bony before. Why? How could he feel bony in just a couple of days? Running my hand down his back. On the weekend, an emergency call to the vet, just the office visit alone is $150. I couldn't afford that. So I did not call Dr. Sarton in an emergency call because by Saturday evening, I knew when I saw him in the bathtub that he was going to leave me, leave us. I knew that because my mind immediately recalled more than one friend over the decades telling me of their indoor cat when it was their time to cross the Rainbow Bridge. They would go to the bathtub. But he kept asking for water, and he would get up and go back to his nest, and then back to the tub, and then behind the boss's chair over the weekend. By Sunday evening, I just knew in my heart and I knew in my mind that we were about to lose baby Dumplin. So my plan was to call Dr. Sarton's office immediately on yesterday morning and take him to have help to cross the Rainbow Bridge. Y'all know during these months of the year, I get up at 6:15 rather than 5:15, but the boss gets up at 5:30. When the boss heard me getting up and around, he came into the bedroom and he was crying. Thank you all for being here, by the way. Not a drama, Nana. Not a drama, Nana. Thank you so much for your $20 super thanks the other day. Thank you. I did that thing that we'll sometimes do when we learn of the loss of a human loved one. I'm not crazy. I did the, I want to, no, I'm busy. I've got to get the cat dishes. I wasn't saying it, I was doing it. Grabbing the Ninja Kitten dishes out of here and heading to the kitchen. It's time for morning feeding. And he followed me to the kitchen, and I turned to him. Hi, Bobby Red Mustang. Thank you. And he was crying, and he looked down at me, and it was time for the boss to go to work. He had to go. So he let me know that baby Dumplin was gone and that he had already taken him out to his truck. And one of his favorite things, the Coca-Cola box. And that he would take him and bury him properly at Pet Cemetery. I was so grateful that he had already taken him out so that I didn't have to see my 55-mile-an-hour kitty. But the boss told me that he had found him in Little Old Man's habitat. Now, I mistakenly took that to mean that he had found Little Old Man, Baby Dumplin unalive yesterday morning when he got up and went to look for him in Little Old Man's habitat. But yesterday afternoon when he got home and we were able to talk about it, and the boss was able to talk about it, and I could listen. He explained. That when he went back, baby Dumplin was not conscious, but he was breathing very shallowly. So the boss cradled him in his arms and carried him to the living room and sat down with him in his easy chair. And talked to him and petted him until he stopped breathing. So we don't know what made him sick, why on Thursday morning he was fine, and Monday morning he went across the Rainbow Bridge with the boss's help. And by help, I mean what I've just explained. He just held him and loved him and talked to him tenderly and petted him until he stopped breathing. And I can't stop crying. So I started doing some research because I felt like this is not normal. But here's what I found. I put in my Google search bar, is it normal to grieve the loss of a pet? Now, some may say, but baby Dumplin wasn't your pet. He was a rescue. You'd be right, and you'd be wrong. Because baby Dumplin was one of three. As best as I recall, the other two were Rocky and Bullywinkel. We still have Bullywinkel. He's outside all the time. The lame kitty. But, and I'm going to share with you in a moment what I found about grieving the loss. And I need to hurry up because I have less than 50% charge on my phone. I've told baby Dumplin's story before, but I'm going to tell it again so that it'll be saved here on the channel for reals in memory of baby Dumplin. We knew that baby mama, the abandoned pregnant kitty, had had kittens. She had started bringing them to the front porch to show them where she herself found food and water and safety. On a particular morning, after they had been weaned, I got in my car to drive, about 10 to 12 miles. I'm not exactly sure about that. But down to the Little Red River, to a friend's river home to take care of some things for her there. She was out of town. So nobody was there, and so I was going to just mind some things for her. I made a stop at the local convenience store and made my way on up 7th Street to the bypass, where the speed limit immediately becomes 55 miles an hour. And I drove on an Arkansas state highway at 55 miles an hour for a good 10 minutes, probably. So it's probably further than 12 miles, maybe more like 15. Again, don't hold me to that. Nonetheless, turning off of the 55 mile an hour zone onto a paved road that goes for a couple of miles down to the Little Red River, where up until the week before, my friend's property had been totally open. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Patty. By open, I mean no fencing anywhere. But the week before, her landscaper had completed a butterfly garden, a large one. And in order to keep, and the landscaping was formed out of cedar in a beautiful shape, by the way, that was custom designed. But along the ground level, the landscaper had placed chicken wire in order to keep the rabbits and other animals out of this beautiful flower garden that he had just completed. So I pull into her graveled driveway and turn off my car, and I immediately hear a very weak mewling coming from, I believe, underneath the hood of my car. So I sat in the driver's seat for a few moments, tuning in. And indeed, there was mewling coming from underneath, hi J. Brad, the hood of my car. I had never opened the hood of my car. And at this moment, I'm beginning to panic. And there's no one around to help me. I'm in a not secluded from other homes, but all the homes are vacation homes. Nobody else is down on the river. But no, Kitty. He's trying to rearrange the camera. But I know where the thing is there that you reach down and pull, release the hood. And of course, then I get out and in my panic and I'm hearing the mewling and I'm trying to get it up and it won't come. It's hooked on something. And then I'm like, oh, there's a latch here somewhere. There's a thing. And I'm panicking. I can't find the thing. And I finally find the thing and I get the hood up and this little tiny kitten is on the battery of my car. When I open the hood, the kitten is startled. After having ridden at 55 miles an hour, and then 40 miles an hour, and then 30 down to 25 and into a driveway for miles, and jumped through the only opening in the engine compartment towards the ground, which of course leads directly to, hi Susan Bezio, the exhaust pipe. And took off in extreme pain, I'm sure. Towards the newly fenced in with chicken wire garden, and is running back and forth along the chicken wire, back and forth. And I know that panic is not going to help anything at this point. Now, you can believe me or not, but what I'm about to tell you is the absolute truth. I stopped dead in my tracks with a 55-mile-an-hour kitten running back and forth along the chicken wire crying. And I looked up to the sky and I said, God, please, I burnt dirt. I said, God, please help me catch this kitten. Please, you know how I am, God. Please help me. And baby Dumplin stopped. Just stopped. Sat down. And I walked over and I scooped him up into my hand. And in my car, I had a plastic milk crate that I kept things in, paper towels, things of that nature. I grabbed it out of the back seat. I dumped those supplies out. I had a towel. I put the towel on the passenger seat, front seat. I put baby Dumplin on the towel. I turned the plastic milk crate upside down on top of him. I strapped the seat belt, shoulder harness through the openings and around it so that it couldn't be thrown to the floor if anything happened. And I jumped in my car, threw it in reverse, and as safely and cautiously obeying the speed limit as I could, I drove directly all the way back to Dr. Sarton's office and grabbed the kitten and ran inside. All the way while the kitten was crying and crying. And the whole way I was saying, it's okay, little darling. It's going to be okay. We're going to Dr. Sarton. He's going to take care of you. It's okay, little baby Dumplin. And it's the first time in my life I'd ever said baby Dumplin, and right then and there it stuck. Little baby Dumplin. You're going to be okay. He had severe burns on 3 paws, on all toe beans, on 3 paws. I had to be treated every day with Silvadine. He had already been weaned, so he got spoiled. Because he was injured, he never went back outside. And that was 6 years ago. Now he's gone and I don't know why. But at least I know he didn't go across the Rainbow Bridge alone. He went with the boss holding him. So Summer's here in my life. Sorry. You know the weird thing? Summer Lucille is never still. She is right now. So I put in my Google search bar, is it normal to grieve a lost pet? And the first site that came up is called helpguide.org, Coping with Losing a Pet. And the first paragraph And I will drop a link. I should have already done so. Sorry, I didn't think to do so, but after I end the live, I'll drop a link in the description below to this site where the first paragraph said, so when a cherished pet dies, it's normal to feel racked by grief and loss. The pain of loss can often feel overwhelming and trigger all sorts of painful and difficult emotions. Why does the loss of a pet hurt so much? Why does the loss of a pet hurt so much? Many of us share an intense love and bond with our animal companions. For us, a pet is not just a dog or just a cat, but rather a beloved member of our family, bringing companionship, fun, and joy to our lives. A pet can add structure to your day, keep you active and social, help you to overcome setbacks and challenges in life, and even provide a sense of meaning or purpose. So when a cherished pet dies, it's normal to feel racked by grief and loss. Summer. The pain of loss can often feel overwhelming and trigger all sorts of painful and difficult emotions. While some people may not understand the depth of feeling you had for your pet, you should never feel guilty or ashamed about grieving for an animal friend. While we all respond to loss differently, the level of grief you experience will often depend on factors such as your age and personality, the age of your pet, and the circumstances of their death. Generally, the more significant your pet was to you, the more intense the emotional pain you'll feel. The role the animal played in your life can also have an impact. For example, if your pet was a working dog, service animal, or therapy animal, you'll not only be grieving the loss of a companion, but also the loss of a coworker, the loss of your independence, the loss of emotional support. If you lived alone and the pet was your only companion, coming to terms with their loss can be even harder. And if you were unable to afford expensive veterinary treatment to prolong your pet's life, no kidding. Sorry. You may even feel a profound sense of guilt. While experiencing loss is an inevitable part of owning a pet, there are healthy ways to cope with the pain, come to terms with your grief, and when the time is right, perhaps even open your heart to another animal companion. Well, we still have 18 feline rescues. Hi, Kiki Eyes. Thank you, Victoria. And Rags, who's getting a house call from Dr. Sarton. So, as you guys know already, we didn't look for or shop for any of the rescues here at Furry Feline Monsters of Mass Destruction plus Rags. The grieving process after the loss of a pet. Grieving is a highly individual experience. Some people find grief following the loss of a pet comes in stages where they experience different feelings such as denial, anger, guilt, depression, and eventually acceptance and resolution. Now, darlings, this isn't my first loss, our first loss, DeBoss and I. No, kitty. No, kitty. So I know. Jeez. Kitty, stop. She wants to. So, I know from many experiences. Tomorrow will be better, and then the day after that, I know. And today's really hard. Others that find that their grief is more cyclical, coming in waves or a series of highs and lows. And that's what's happening to me. It's coming in waves. It's cyclical. And I'm having highs and lows. The lows are likely to be deeper and longer at the beginning and then gradually become shorter and less intense as time goes by. Still, even years after a loss, a sight, a sound, or a special anniversary can spark memories that trigger a strong sense of grief. And I know that from experience as well. The grieving process happens only gradually. It can't be forced or hurried. And there is no normal timetable for grieving. Some people start to feel better in weeks or months. For others, the grieving process is measured in years. Whatever your grief experience, it's important to be patient with yourself and allow the process to naturally unfold. Feeling sad, shocked, or lonely is a normal reaction to the loss of a beloved pet. Exhibiting these feelings doesn't mean you are weak or your feelings are somehow misplaced. It just means that you're mourning the loss of an animal you loved. So you shouldn't feel ashamed. Trying to ignore your pain or keep it from surfacing will only make it worse in the long run. For real healing, it is necessary to face your grief and actively deal with it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. By expressing your grief, and as you guys know, I'm a wordsmith and I love words. So to remind you, not that you need it, but expressing means to speak it or to write it, but to get it out of X, E-X, to X, to get it out, to press it out of you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm following the advice of helpguide.org. This is so different than how I was with little old man, you guys. That was hard. But this is a shock. So, to go on. By expressing your grief, you'll likely need less time to heal than if you withhold or bottle up your feelings. Write about your feelings and talk about them with others who are sympathetic to your loss. I'm blessed to have this channel on YouTube where I can do that. Summer Lucy. I have you guys. I one love. And this is the first time since yesterday morning that I've literally just broken down and absolutely sobbed uncontrollably. And I think it's step one. Getting to talk to you guys. So I think I'm going to recommend this site for reals. Helpguide.org. Okay, to finish up here, and there's a lot. There's an awful lot of information, very valuable information here. But I'm not going to share everything I've read this morning. I just wanted to share the pertinent parts. By pertinent, I mean directly applicable to my situation. Sorrow and grief are normal and natural responses to death. Like grief for our friends and loved ones, grief for our animal companions can only be dealt with over time, but there are healthy ways to cope with the pain. Here are some suggestions. And I'm not going to read the entire paragraphs. I'm just going to read the bullet points. Because I want to tell you about rags, and we've already been on here almost 45 minutes. Okay. Don't let anyone tell you how to feel. Reach out to others who have lost pets. Rituals can help the healing. By that they mean funeral or memorial. That's why I made the In Memory of Baby Dumplin video that I uploaded yesterday. Create a legacy. And that would be something like planting a tree in honor of the pet that's crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. So there'll be a Japanese maple planted, and it's already in a pot out front. I'll show it to you in a minute, if I still have any battery power. And that will be Baby Dumplin's tree. The next bullet point is look after yourself. I got to take care of me. The boss has got to take care of himself. Yesterday, when he was telling me about baby Dumplin's final moments, and we were grieving together, I said to the boss, I said that I'm so glad that it happened that way for baby Dumplin, but that must have been so hard for you. And he just nodded his head. He said, yes, it was, but it's always hard for me, even if I'm not there. So he's expressing himself as well, okay? And you guys can rely on me that I'll take good care of me and the boss and everybody else around these here parts. Finally, if you have other pets, try to maintain your normal routine. Yeah. And I've done that today. The litter boxes were clean before 8 a.m. Fresh food, fresh water for everybody. But now to Rags. Rags has had diarrhea off and on since Thursday. This was all running parallel. I gave her the boiled white chicken breast, skinless, and steamed white rice as recommended. She got better on Friday. By Saturday, she was having what I refer to as explosive diarrhea. I had to take her out of her kennel. Yeah, it was Saturday morning. I had to take her out of her kennel, secure her outside, make bleach water, and I had to scrub down her entire kennel because she had had diarrhea every place except the little corner by the gate where she was sitting waiting on me to come out. Got it all hosed down, everything sanitized. Imodium. I couldn't think of the name. Okay. So the vet is like, and Lily and my next door neighbor had Imodium tablets. So I'd never given a canine a pill, but Lillian has Smokey, her 11-year-old service dog, and is very experienced in such manners. So Lillian just came over Saturday morning and brought Imodium and had it down Rags before I even knew what was going on. And she got better. And then it came back. So she was good Sunday. She was fine on Sunday, or, seemed normal. Bowel movement was soft, but not diarrhea. Now, you're not supposed to feed a dog the boiled chicken and white rice, or a cat, for really more than a 2-day span because it is not nutritionally balanced. But I had a little bit of chicken and rice left, and rather than wasting it, I went ahead and mixed it in with her regular dog food since she seemed to be doing okay. Yes, this is still Sunday. through yesterday morning, she seemed to be pretty good. And then late yesterday morning, she had diarrhea again. So I gave her an Imodium, and surprisingly, I thought it was going to be a horrible struggle since I didn't know what I was doing. But what I did was I mimicked Lillian's actions as precisely as I could. And the Imodium went right down. I did the throat stroke, the boom, boom, and she swallowed and the Imodium went down. This morning when I went out at the regular 6:30 a.m. feeding, trying to keep my normal routine as recommended by helpguide.org, she had thrown up all over her kennel. So I've called Dr. Sarton's office. She also has had diarrhea since. The only thing I can figure out, and I hope you guys will forgive me, but I really need a cigarette. And we're almost at an hour, and I'm probably about to run. If this ends suddenly, it's because I ran out of battery. Let me get my soda or she'll knock it over. I'm not going to smoke on camera, but I really do need a cigarette. I'll flip the lens. So Dr. Sarton is making a house call. And she's normal. I mean, she wants to play. She wants to run. She wants to go walk. She's not lethargic. She wants to play with Mr. Grayson. And the only thing that has happened, that's where I was when we got up and left the other room. Let me turn on some lights. Hi, Patches. Boy, I look my age today, I'll tell you. Ballin' will do that for you, darlings. Ballin' will make you look your age. Shed a little light on the subject here for a minute. So, then we'll go from there. In the meantime, I'm staying dressed in old beat up clothes with stains on them. Okay. Oh, where I was about what's the only thing that's different. And then I'm going to go smoke and we'll go look at, thank you, Nada Drama Nana. And we'll at least go look at her and hope she hasn't phoned up again. I've walked her 3 times this morning. Or 3 times this morning. And she's drinking, not to excess, she just her normal drinking of water, so she's staying hydrated. But Thursday morning, and we've had a lot of rain here. Let me put my soda Patches. Let me put my soda in the freezer so it'll get slushy for me. And y'all, I feel better. Thank you, every single one of you, those that are here now and those that may be on rewatch later. I feel better. Okay, but I still need a cigarette. But let's see. There's Patches, and she's watching birds. Dastardly Doolittle, and if you haven't seen yesterday's video upload in memory of baby Dumplin, I do wish you'd go over and watch it for me. The kitten in the video portions is baby Dumplin. I'm sorry, is Dewey. Dewey's Dastardly Doolittle is the little black and white kitten playing with baby Dumplin in the video. Wang Chang Cheetah Burrito in his usual spot up under the coffee table. Well, my dog walking close. Now everything's a mess. This is where baby Dumplin, this is where he found baby Dumplin. There's Julie Newmar. Little old man. And Willow in her usual spot. Guys, let me flip you back. Hang on, where's the, sorry, you're looking at my laundry room. Where's the flipper thing? Okay. So showing you my messy laundry room. I'm sorry. So I don't have to wipe up water off the counter anymore. Or step in puddles of water around the water fountain on the floor. Because this baby Dumplin that just had to dip that paw in there and fling water everywhere to get a drink. Dip his paw in the water and then lick his paw. And I'd ask him every time, as if he could answer, I'd ask him every time, why can't you drink like a normal cat? And in my mind's eye, he would reply, who told you I'm a normal cat? And besides that, what the heck is a normal cat? Oh, it's windy. Okay, now what I was saying about Thursday morning, y'all. Let me flip the lens so that I don't have anybody see me smoking. We have had a lot of rain here. As a matter of fact, I haven't been able to mow in over a week. I know, like right now, it's like, oh, it's sunny there and the breeze is blowing. The grass should be dry. No, we had a thunderstorm overnight. So when that and you can probably see the clouds looming to the north there. So we have more rain coming, and I'm sorry if the wind is troublesome in the audio. There's Mr. Grayson. Mr. Grayson, can you say hi? He says, no, I can't. I'm taking a nap. There's Tommy Two-Tone. Anyway, like the mats are drying on the chairs. I mean, it's just been really, really wet here. So, because of that, all right, hang on. Let me find a place to sit this for a second. There have been these white mushrooms growing in my yard. And on Thursday morning, when I got Rags out for her first walk, she had one in her mouth and had eaten it before I realized what was happening. Now she's trained now and is very good that when she has something in her mouth and I say, no, drop it, she opens her mouth and drops it. But she had already eaten this white mushroom. And I'm afraid that's what's wrong. But the thing is, at least this many days later, if it was going to take her across the Rainbow Bridge, surely it would have done so by now. But she's not eating, she's not snacking since yesterday evening. Okay, I'm going to light my cigarette. So that's where we are with that. And in the meantime, this old woman is absolutely worn to a frazzle, physically, emotionally. Oh my goodness. But, you know, these babies need us. They need me to keep up my routine with them. And I figured today if I let a little housework slide here and there, it's not going to hurt anything. As long as I'm not grieving in an unhealthy way, you know. Anyway, let's walk around. We'll take a quick look at Rags, and then I need to say goodbye. Get y'all secure on this tripod right quick. I'm sorry. Hey, sweetheart. Hey. Hi, baby. Well, I see you haven't been sick again since overnight. And your cheetah blanket is still clean. Y'all, that is a cow. Those are sold for dogs. I can't believe it. I know it's out of focus, but that thing that you see through it's a cow femur that's been specially processed for a dog to have. She's not interested in it, but I can tell that she is more, you know, you guys, she usually jumps up when we come around, and as you can see, she isn't. And if it looks a little wet, well, it does look a little wet around the footing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus on something other than this doggone chicken wire. It's wet around the bottom of her doghouse because I literally had to bleach and hose the entire kennel this morning and then dry it out using her brooder lamp and sweeping the water out and getting an old rag towel and walking around inside her kennel and sopping up the water. So, anywho, yeah. So, bless the beasts and the children, keep them sheltered from the storm. Keep them warm. Bless the beasts and the children, for in this world they have no voice. They have no choice. Give them light when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around them. Bless the beasts and the children, keep them sheltered from the storm. Keep them safe. Keep them warm. Please remember to spay and neuter your fur babies and keep their shots up to date. Take them in for their annual exams and get them intermittent treatment as needed. Please be kind to wildlife. They're not encroaching on our habitat. We're encroaching on theirs. So help them out to the best of your ability within the guidelines of wildlife management in your area. And the very last and the least, hi George. And if I've missed you in chat, I'm sorry. Please be kind one to another. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to cost you anything. And like you guys have done for me today, it will come back to you tenfold when you need it the most and you expect it the least. But here you are, and I love you for it. Thank you. Now, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I'd be lying if I said I had litter boxes to clean. They're already done. But I got me some more studying to do and a link to drop in the description below. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. What's new, pussycats? Oh, 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 oh. update on Regs as soon as available. I love you all. Whiskers!